Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 10 says, Yahweh is the true God. He's the living God and the everlasting King. At his wrath, the earth quakes, and the nations cannot endure his indignation. Let's break this down. Yahweh is the true God. Jeremiah chapter 10 is contrasting the nations that worship false gods with Yahweh, who is the true God, the creator of the heavens and the earth. We read he is the living God, not merely that he's the only God that's alive. Yahweh is the source and fountain of all life. And he's also an everlasting, eternal king. He is the ruler over his own creation, and he rules and creates his entire universe through his Son. God the Father, through his Son, will rule for all eternity. Jesus is this everlasting king. In fact, in Micah chapter 5, verse 2, it says, You, Bethlehem Ephrathah, even though you're too little, you're such a small little town, Bethlehem, to be counted among the clans of Judah, from you will go forth from me a ruler whose going forth are from the days of eternity. You see, it was prophesied 800 years before Christ was born that not only is God an everlasting king, but that the everlasting king would somehow be born in Bethlehem. And we read in Jeremiah 10 that at the wrath of God, at his wrath, the earth quakes, and the nations cannot endure his indignation. The nations, like Cain, they cannot bear the punishment from God that is coming upon the world. At the second coming of Christ, Jesus, the same Jesus that died on the cross, will come back and lay waste to this planet, destroy this planet. Read the Psalms. He will execute the kings and the leaders of many countries. At the wrath of the Lamb, men will beg the rocks to crush them in the day of his wrath. But the good news is today is the day of salvation. Today is the day of the mercy of the Lamb. Today is the day where the same Lamb coming back in judgment reaches out his hand to the nations, the same nations that one day will not be able to endure his indignation. And this wonderful living God, this source of life, this everlasting King says, Come to me. Come to me all. Says, anyone who comes to me will not be cast out. Says, anyone who's thirsty, come to me and drink. Come and receive the water of life that the living God can give you, because he sent his only begotten Son to die and suffer the wrath and pay the penalty for sin that me and you owe, beloved. Turn to him and be saved.